You guys have got 5 minutes on those predictions. You guys want to do some gambling? Feel free to. I know I'm sitting on like 10k coins right now or some shit. So I don't want to bet, because if I bet, it won't allow me to cash it out. But that's unimportant right now. What is important is that we have standard start here for both teams. It looks like we've got no funny business, no shenanigans in the level 1 right now, which I think makes sense. Neither of the teams have particularly potent level 1, you know, no brawl, no massive kind of engage here. Oh, we do see something though, kind of a little bit of vision gaining by the side of CUDDERS, who were aggressively spamming the pings there, which kind of took me out of it. I'm not gonna lie, my brain turned off while I just saw like Aatrox alive, Aatrox alive, Aatrox alive. But you know, let's ignore that for now. Let's focus on the game at hand as we move into laning phase here. I think one of the more important places to look right now in this game is the Diana and the Mel, because if Diana gets ahead, she can farm Mel. Like, Mel has a little bit of invulnerability, which is nice, but as long as it's a long cooldown, you know, it's like 20-30 seconds or something. So if Diana can play around it, if Diana can use her burst when invulnerability is down, Mel's a squishy champ. She's farmable, you know? And so I will be keeping my eyes peeled to see whether or not Turkey Flaps can replicate his success on the Diana that we saw in the previous losers round bout. We can see Brad as well has got the Arcane Comet, so he is going to be looking to try and poke out the Diana where he can. But there is an Ignite on that Diana and Electrocute, so she is going to hurt. And if we just think a little bit more about the jungle pathing here, I do believe Cuties know where the Gragas is because of that ward. He started on his chickens, so they know he's pathing bot to top. Maybe a conscious choice here on the side of Sevan to prioritize trying to get his top laner ahead after seeing what happened in game 1. But we'll have to see how it plays out as he finishes his camps. Aatrox coming out here for an early ward, which makes sense. Again, we just spoke about the fact they knew the pathing of Gragas, so getting that early vision will definitely kind of mitigate his ability to gank the top lane in the first couple minutes. And Brad might get solo killed here. Ignite goes down. Is it doing a tick? Last tick is going to make a first blood, and that's not what you want to see. He does have a little bit of a CS lead, but it ain't gonna matter. That's 300 gold in the pack of Diana's pockets. So, and the flash was burnt there. We can see in the pings as Slimsy's taking a kind of equal trade here. 2 pots getting burnt on both sides. Slimsy getting a good trade here onto Mr. Clisty, giving him a little bit of a run for his money as Slapper gets jumped on, has to burn his flash here away from I Eat Booty Holes. Cuddler is on the corner here, trying to make something, but he isn't going to get involved just yet. Flash burnt by Aatrox. Slimsy's trying to make something happen here, and this is a stark difference from game 1 for the top side. We did mention it is his comfort champion, and obviously with the 2 target bans on Mr. Clisty is kind of making a bit of a difference here, but no actual kills yet, just the burn of the flash for Aatrox. And we can see here another engage here by Turkey Flaps. As soon as he sees that invulnerability down, he's like, okay, time to trade. Let's get in there, pop the electrocute. Oh, there's half your health. And, you know, with the item difference now, I mean, it is only Aether Wisp on an Amplifying Tome, but any advantage that he can get right now, especially with that flash down on Brad, as he levels up towards level 6, you know, I think as soon as Turkey Flaps hits 6, and he will hit 6 before Brad gets his flashback. You see that dirty trade there. It is looking rough. Sevan is here, gonna get the flash out of Turkey Flaps because of his E. Belly Flop is coming in action there, but not actually gonna be able to do much here. And Brad is in danger right now, man. You know, even though the gank came through, kind of alleviates a little bit of pressure, that Diana is dangerous, man. And I don't know. If I was him at the HP he's at right now, I'd think about basing. You're gonna lose a wave, but honestly, it's better than when this guy hits 6, and he is going to hit 6 soon. You will probably just get all in than die. And you know, that I mean, fortunately, if he's under turret, now that the Diana doesn't have flash, he might be okay. But, oh, we see maybe a bit of a negative trade here for the side of 5DK. In the top side, Mr. Clisty might be able to get a kill here. No flash is going to make his aggression kind of a little bit tempered here. And, oh, we see the ultimate comes out by Turkey Flash, but it doesn't actually land. And it's overconfidence. Brad's going to get it. Okay, that is what you want to see for the Mel. CS lead now and punishes the Diana. That, I think that was just an overcalculation there. Like, I think he popped his ultimate thinking it might be able to clip Mel, but when it was just like a couple pixels out, he decides to just commit. And as soon as he commits, it doesn't matter anymore, you know? Like, he's under turret, he gets rooted, he doesn't have any damage because his ultimate's down, and he just dies. And massive punish for the Mel. Going to make her life significantly easier and equal, you know, even up the gold difference in the mid lane, I think, for sure. We could see, in comparison to game 1, with it being 1-1 right now and only about 200 gold being the difference here, you feel a lot more comfortable in this game now, being 5DK. I think Brad has still got a ways to go right now. He's still kind of in danger. We see the ultimate's going to come out here by Slimsy. 2-man knockup by Mr. Clisty. He's got big healing, though, so it is going to be dangerous. If this knockup lands, they should be able to secure the kill, though. And that is a 2v1 kill hit Sevan. Oh, don't go in that bush, Sevan. Don't go in that bush. That's the burn the flash. Slimsy here going to get a little bit of trading here onto Cuddler. 2-man commit by them. Gonna try and make something happen, but it's not gonna quite be enough. Everybody's gonna dissipate. Looks like they're trying to maybe wrap around though, but no, they're just gonna go around, ward the grubs, and we see 5DK for the first time in this matchup gonna get a single grub. They should, in theory, pick off all 3. But you gotta be happy with this performance, right? You gotta be happy with this early game.
Definitely, this is a lot more positive performance from the 5DK than the last game. Minus the first blood at the beginning, they have they are turning it around. And 100%. I think this top lane is helping this pit.
Yeah, I agree entirely. You can see the difference here between the Ambessa versus the Aatrox. Not to say that Mr. Clisty's Aatrox is bad here, but the difference in mastery is noticeable because we can see Slimsy's mastery of the Camille. He's landed all of his E's. He's getting, you know, he's spacing correctly as well, which is going to make a massive difference in the melee versus melee matchup. Being able to make it so that Aatrox can't get the damage out on you as easily. Not being able to auto attack as frequently as well. And here we're going to go to a replay. We get to see this 2v1 here. The Camille ultimate locks up the Aatrox, who he has ulted in response, but, you know, in the 2v1, not too much he can do just yet. You know, it's equal. We've seen him take many a 2v1 in this tournament so far, but when he takes them, he's usually ahead. Right now, I believe he's actually behind. For maybe, again, the first time in this tournament. Even in their game against Fated Ashes, he did handily beat Delicate Flowers in the top lane. It was just the rest of the map that fell apart. And so, you know, yeah, like you said, if you're 5DK right now, I think you're kind of happy with the positioning. Also, not the positioning, with the kind of the placement you are in this game right now. You're happy to see that you guys are actually kind of putting up a contest. And we can see it looks like Lichbane is going to be the first item here for Gragas. So he's going for that burst. And being probably marginally ahead. We're talking a negligible amount, like maybe a couple hundred gold, if that, ahead of the Sejuani right now, just because of that one assist. I still think it might be hard for him to burst people. If he gets his Lichbane before the enemy team finish some of their first items, then yeah, he'll probably be able to burst Diana, and he'll probably be able to burst Samira, and he'll probably be able to burst Rel. But Sejuani should be too tanky just from the get-go. And Aatrox, if they can continue to keep him down, then maybe he's burstable too, but we'll have to see how that progresses. He is keeping up in CS right now, so...
someone in the comments in the chat just made a good point of, so it's a long road for 5DK to claim the bounty. That brings me on to a point of CUDDERS Cuties saying that they were going to and it's a nothing burger. yeah, they were going to in and lose the game so they could claim this bounty.
Yeah, CUDDERS did say that they were gonna, in their last interview, they did say they were intending to, what was the word? They were intending to FF their game so that they could claim the bounty. And Sevan here gonna catch Turkey, flaps with his pants down. He does have Flash though, so he might be able to get out. Flash is gonna come out, Puppet is gonna miss his engage. And it looks like Diana gets away, not for free, but with their life. So not a terrible kind of result there for the Cuties, considering they committed several members. And we can see loads of pings coming out here around this dragon. We got the Cuties are looking to try and secure this second Drake. They do have equal number of members. They're Flash, Magna Rise, Stormfrey is going to come out. They're going to lock down Stevan, and Stevan's going to drop immediately. Massive ultimate on the side of Samira is going to lock down them. That's the entire lead they just built. Gone. The CUDDERS are back in the, they're back in business. They've got just over a 1k gold lead now, and that was from what, a 1k gold lead for 5DK? Completely gone. That is so rough if you are 5DK right now, seeing that they did have those early advantages, and now the only person that's really ahead is the top lane. We do see though, just focusing on the top lane a little bit, that the Triforce has come out for Camille, which is a big power spike for her. I would say arguably stronger than the Sundered Sky is for the Aatrox. So her trading ability is going to be really good in these small skirmishes in the top lane, as we see that 5DK prioritize trying to make sure they get 6 scrubs in this match. So, at least they have some control over some of the neutral objectives in this map. Because again, as we saw in the last game, they had 0 objective control. They hemorrhaged every neutral. So being able to lock up these six scrubs, especially for the Camille, who is probably going to be a split push thresh in the a split push thresh? What? A split push threat. There we go. Words are hard. You're gonna be a split put threat. Oh my god. Ah, I made the same mistake again. Never mind. Slimsy's going in. Ultimate on Mr. Clisty. Sevan gets knocked up before he can actually land the belly flop. And Cuddler's coming in for the counter gang. Is he gonna be able to stop it though? Sevan is really low. If they can lock him down, he is gonna go down. And Aatrox heals like a motherfucker. Camille might go down here too. Gonna try and get a revenge kill onto the Sejuani, but they can't stop Aatrox. The Sundered Sky plus the natural healing. He finished that fight with more than he started on the HP front. That was unfortunate if you are 5DK, I think. You know, they were the guys, they were trying to be proactive, really good counter gank on the side of Sejuani. Have to highlight that it was the game changer there. It would have been another 2v1 kill for Camille had the Sejuani not come in. Let me see, they engage with the ultimate, same way they did a couple minutes ago. Unfortunately, the knockup does make it hard for Gragas. And we see, this is where the burst build on the Gragas is me. He's a little too squishy, and someone like Aatrox can just burst him. And look at the healing on that. You see that Slimzy just decides it's not even worth fighting the Aatrox anymore. He just decides, I'm going to get one kill onto the guy who doesn't heal him in like a million hit points a second. And then, you know, he dies for his transgressions, but good play overall by the Cuties. And we can see they've now caught the bot lane completely out here. Slapper has to burn his ultimate and his flash to get out of the exchange. But you take that, if you are the side of CUDDERS Cuties, you take Rel ult for the flash of the Xayah any day of the week, especially considering their HP totals right now. If your jungler comes down, you might be able to dive them fairly handily. And again, with no escapes on Slapper active, his ultimate is down and the flash is down, he should be a sitting duck. But either way, at least we have a little bit more of a contest here in this game in comparison to game 2. Will be interesting to see how things change up. Big damage here coming out of Slimzy, but the Sundered Sky is going to heal most of that up, and now the trade's looking more focused towards the Aatrox. But the sustained damage here from Slimzy's actually huge. Look at the size of that heal! God damn! We need some anti-heal up in this top lane, bro. We need some anti-heal. I don't know if that's something you can comfortably build on the Camille or not, but by Christ. Sundered Sky plus Aatrox healing, actually obnoxious. He was losing this lane and now he is handily in the driver's seat. So we'll need to see what they can do to maybe change it. You know, Slimzy can't leave the lane right now. And we do see he gets a nice little trade there with his AoE. But with how much healing the Aatrox can do, if you can't just lock him up and burst him before he gets to hit you, I don't think you win these fights when you're both on like 20 to 30% HP. And we can see that Aatrox is going to base and just immediately TP back to lane, I assume. Turkey Flaps is trying to make a solo bolo on the minimap there, but we see an engage here come out by 5DK. Ultimate comes out by Turkey Flaps, and he fucks it. It's so bad for him. And they get a shutdown on the bot lane as well for 5DK. They're making a comeback here. All right, we got a big engage here by Puppets. Going to lock down the double kill here. Lich Bane on the Gragas, going to shut him down. Big kills. 4 out of 6 kills he's taken part in on their team right now. He is having a lot more agency in this game than I think he did in the last one. So he's having a good game right now. And this fills me with determination, you know? I have a feeling we might actually have a game on our hands. We might get to see some good 5v5s in this game, you know? It's not going to be a wash. We can see Cuddler comes up with a Glacial Prison. Brad's going to burn his flash. They're still going to try and commit. But I think, unfortunately, Mr. Callisti was a little too far away. Cuddler decided this wasn't worth it anymore. And we can see the pings coming out. They're saying, "No, Glacial Prison's down, guys. We might be able to make something happen around that topside objective as we take that turret down here in the bot lane." Not first turret, though. Mid-tier 1 was the first turret. And this is a really good punish if you are the Cuties right now. They know that flash is down. Ult comes out a slapper, but it's not going to be enough. And now Slimzy's here. We're going to see Tom burst his ultimate out. It's not going to be any damage, though. Brad also TP's in. And we got a massive fight here at 17 minutes. Another kill here for the Mel. Mel's going to kill I Eat Booty Holes. And then Mr. Callisti gets one on the back. We want to see Puppets go down. Brad's probably going down here, too. 4-1 on the Aatrox. Aatrox is a menace in it. Yeah, we could see that the items, like, look at Slimzy has built some anti-healing for the 1v1. But look at mid, man. That was a 4v5. Turkey Flaps took tier 2 mid, and he might get tier 3. We do see Slapper's kind of pathing towards it. See if he can stop him. But remember, Diana is a burst mage. So if Slapper stands up too close, he might get popped. Ultimate's going to come out. Slimzy's going to get a killing spree. It's still not great, though, you know? The fight was really well executed by 5DK. But the fact that Diana wasn't there and how much gold she was able to get for her team just by not being there is a difference maker for sure. The gold lead is now 2k, and they are able to get soul point here on the dragon. So this means that in the next 5 or so minutes, we're going to have a big fight around that 4th Drake. Make sure that the Chemtech soul doesn't go to the Cuties. The Cuties are still not confidently in the driver's seat, but in the driver's seat. And yeah, we're going to see here this play on the bot side. So this is, I believe this is where they are able to lock down the Samira. You see the exhaust comes out real quick, trying to make sure she doesn't want to ultimate with the exhaust on. And then Gragas just has the damage to shut her down with the EW combo. And then, you know, quick double kill onto the Rel. One thing I will say, I feel like for how many bans this Rel has drawn, and I mean, we do see here she is able to lock down the Xayah, but I think Xayah is just a little bit too far forward and the team isn't there to defend her, as we see the retaliation TPs come out, right? And we covered this fight in length, so I want to say, look at the minimap. I think this is really good call by the Diana. You realize is that the Aatrox has this fight in his hands, and it's just like, all right, you don't need me to roam. Let me just keep pushing. You know, she's got the Lich Bane. She's got big damage on turrets, so it just makes life super easy for her. Open inhib as well now, and we can see maybe a tier 2 bot gonna go down for this Diana, who does flash straight into Gragas and just gets a turret kill right there. I think they took too many turret shots there, and they're gonna get punished for that. So that was. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was a rough one there. We did miss a solo kill, I think, on the top side. Oh, we can see in the all chat they're talking about. Oh, okay, it was on the mid. All right, fair enough. But yeah, man, this is a very different game from game 1. Much more heated competition as we move into a replay. That's the word I needed. And yeah, here we go. We see they try to lock up the Samira. She blocked projectiles for a second, gets her ultimate up. gets locked up, is going to get killed here by Slapper. Is really good for the side of 5DK. Meanwhile, on the bot side, we see just the damage there. That wasn't even an ability. That was her passive. And then just one too many turret shots. Stack the passive of Mel on her and pops R. There was no getting away for the Diana there at that point. Once she had taken that many turret shots, it was all over. We do see Puppets come in here with the big boy engage, but they're in a very narrow corridor. And 5DK, they take so much damage off of the Samira. And it's a multi-man kill here. Big shutdown onto the Xayah for Tom. 6-4 and 2 right now with 2 items. And it looks like Brad's going down here too. That's a fourth kill in fact. It is just Sevan alive right now. And with the 3k gold lead and the Herald in tow as well, these guys are going to move over for that Ruinous Atakan, I believe. You know, and Ruinous Atakan is it's kind of one of those ones where I think people don't pay attention to how much it really gives because it's all passive. So it increases all of your all of the buffs that you get from other neutral objectives by 25%. And then it also gives you a bunch of the petals, which give you bonus XP, and they give you bonus adaptive force, which, you know, is going to be super useful for all of the carry threats here on the side of Cudders, who are honestly, none of them are looking that weak right now. I mean, considering we mentioned Aatrox's lost lane, he's 5-1-1 right now with an item lead. So, and yeah, here we can see this fight here in the top side jungle. You just don't want to take these fights if you're 5DK. You know, Samira is one of those champions that can abuse corridors and abuse narrow passageways. Because if you're all in her ultimate, you are all dying. You want to fight her in an open space, in the open lane, like in mid for like a 5v5 or something, or in the river where her ultimate isn't the entire space available. Because if she can hit everybody with her ult, she will kill everybody. And, you know, I mean, we saw it there, and we might see it again later in this game if 5DK don't change their approach, you know? But again, I would like to point out that things are not as bleak as they were in game 1. At this point in game 1, it was already a wrap, and we were talking about game 2. So if you're 5DK, I think you're happy right now that you guys are still in this, and that if you play it correctly, you can still take this game and bring us to a game 3. It is not a wrap by any means. The only thing I would say is we need more anti-heal to deal with this Aatrox. We can see the Grievous wounds are built on the Camille, and that is half the reason why Camille doesn't have a second item right now, because she had to go in and buy the Grievous wounds. But there is TP up on Slimzy, so as these guys start this 4th Drake here, we're going to see, yeah, the TP comes out. Slimzy's going to try and make something happen on the opposite side of the map, and we're going to see a potential steal here. Gragas tries to steal it, but Cuddler's going to get it, and that's going to be Soul. And now there has to be a fight. They have to do something. Glacial Prison's going to lock up Puppets, and Puppets is going to take big boy damage, but Slimzy's going to drop the ultimate onto Tom. Doesn't end up getting anything. No one has died yet until Slapper gets smoked. Mr. Clisty's dominating. Brad's going to die here. He pops the invulnerability, but it ain't going to mean nothing. Double kill for Aatrox. Flash is going to come out here by Rakan, and that's going to be probably the inhib, right? With that Soul going over and the gold lead growing that a little bit more, I think Cuddler's Cuties, they're just probably going to be too much for them to handle. It looks like instead of going for that inhib, they've decided they're going to go for the tier 2 bot, because at least the tier 2 bot's going to give them some gold. And we do see they cracked the Herald. So Herald is, I mean, if they don't already kill the turret on their own, Herald's going to take it for them, for sure. But we see they are able to save the charge here. So they are planning to crack this straight into the tier 3 instead. And so it's going to leave that on about half HP. We do see Puppets here. It's going to stop the bases of the Aatrox. But I don't know if they can actually make this a positive fight here. We've stopped 3 bases, which is nice. You know, they've stopped the resets. But there's no item advantages here. So, you know, it is just a delaying of Cuddler's Cuties, Cudders even. And Puppets takes big damage. He's going down. The Aatrox is legendary. And Turkey Plats might drop here, but we do see Gragas is going to go down as well. So this is really messy. And Mr. Clisty might be just unstoppable. Oh, shutdown. That is a big boy shutdown on the Xayah. Xayah's going to pick up 900 gold for that. And we see some damage coming out here by the Mel onto Tom, who's going to walk away. All in. still a dangerous one. Slimzy stops the bases again. They were basing on a ward, and he knew they were there, so he is able to delay them here. And this means Tom hasn't based in a minute. He's probably sitting on a lot of gold, and Slimzy's going to commit. He locks him down, but he ends up dying for it. Brad and Slapper just couldn't get in there. Ultimate going to come out here by Slapper, but he dies before he can pop it. Brad's going to get the shutdown here onto Samira. And Jesus Christ, it's been a long fight, man. I haven't been able to shut up. God damn. It just keeps going. Yeah, okay. Now maybe we turn to some, we get a little bit of peace. A little bit of peace in this game. Maybe. I mean, Booty Holes is looking for the smoke, but he is on his own right now. We do see Sejuani kind of pathing towards him, but this is still a bad fight. None of their damage threats are here, so it looks like the Realm might go down. Turkey Flaps is going to get in. Glacial Prison straight into the engaged by the Diana. It's going to be a 1-for-1. Rel for Mel is maybe not the best trade for 5DK, but gold is gold, and they're happy to take it, I imagine. So, whew. But that's going to be maybe a free Baron here, because it looks like 5DK are not in a position to contest this, and the damage is there. Aatrox's damage is super high, and Diana's damage is good too. Yeah, it's going to be a free Baron here. And this does kind of put 5DK in a precarious position, because if they lose another fight and there is a good wave, it can just be game. It will make things really difficult for them. They're going to have to play really conservatively for the next 5 minutes. But we won't know until our next fight, to be honest. Aaron, how do you feel about this, man? How are you? If you were 5DK right now, it's only a 5k gold lead at 27 minutes, which, don't get me wrong, still a sizable gold lead, but we're half an hour into this game, so that's only about half an item per player. What do you think you'd be looking for to try and get turn the tide?
Well,
definitely not what's about to happen to Brad. He's about to get engaged on. He's about to die. That's going to be a solo kill for the Diana. And yeah, not much he could have done there. Just wrong place, wrong time. But anyway, as you're saying, actually, no, never mind. We're going to have another exchange here. We will talk about that later. We see Slimzy commit here. He does burn the ultimate, but the Zhonya's is actually going to make it so that it doesn't actually do anything. And Tom's going to pick up Puppets, and Aatrox is going to pick up Slapper on the side. And now Sevan is fighting Cuddler, but Cuddler's out damaging him. He's built for burst. How is this happening? The Sejuani DPS is huge. Shutdown is going to go there, but the rest of his team is in tatters, and it's going to be... They've got a wave. What did I say literally 2 minutes ago? If they have a wave and they win a fight, they could win the game. And it's looking brutal, man. I don't think Slimzy can stop this, and I don't think Sevan can either. He's only just hit the base. Aatrox, the Diana. We've seen the Diana smoke turrets before. It's all over, man. All right. That's rough for the side of 5DK. Unfortunately, their Winter Open dreams are done. But on the fortunate side... I get to keep my hair. Let's go.